4 weeks now, my feed has been flooded with videos of people talking about ADHD, experts, doctors, people who have been diagnosed, podcasters. Everyone has their own take, but a lot of them, in my opinion, start from the wrong place. They all start from the same assumption that ADHD is an illness. I think that if it is, it rarely is. Leaving aside the extreme cases, the one that really do fall under a genuine pathology behind what we call ADHD, I see something else. I see the search for answers, the search for things that science and physics can't give us. And above all, I see the need to express ourselves authentically, outside the social constructs we all live in. Let's be honest about one thing. There is money in diagnosis, more medication, more customer. That's a fact, not a theory. But now we're gonna skip that thing. It's not the thing I want to talk about. And there is something else. That's what happened to a person. When you give them a label, you tell them you're sick, you're different. Here is your medication for your condition. And that person go inside a box. From that moment on, they are no longer a person with a certain way of functioning. They become an ADHD person. That's it. The label is everything else. And they start to define themselves as sick people. And this is where the real damage is. Not in the label itself, which for some people can be useful, extreme cases of autism, stuff like that. The damage is when the label becomes the only thing you are. I know people who have made their diagnosis their entire personality. Others fall into depression, try to adapt to society because they spend their lives trying to be something they are not, trying to fit into a world that isn't built for them, and it is not built for how their minds work. Because I believe these people aren't sick, and they don't have superpowers either, like somebody said, maybe just coping mechanism. They're simply people who struggle to live in a way that isn't theirs. They struggle to don't live authentically. They are curious about things, they focus and learn deeply only what their instinct, their soul tells them to love. They earn something, absorb fully, and then move to something else because they are already hungry for the next thing. Some of these people can be categorized as polymath, mind that cross between fields, they connect distant things, and cannot stay still on one thing only, on a single track. When a mind is built like that, the problem isn't the mind. The problem is forcing it to sit still where it doesn't want to be, to study what doesn't light up, to pretend to be something it is not, just to fit the mold. That's where all the suffering comes from. Not how these people are made, but from having to hide it, to try to do things they don't want to do. That's why for me authenticity is the highest value, the most important state of a person can be. That's a line in the Gospel of Thomas that say more or less that if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. And if you do not bring it forth, it will destroy you. The light burns inside a person, can light up the world, or it can consume them from the inside. If you keep it shut it off, that's exactly what happens. When you force one of these minds to switch off and stay in line, that light doesn't disappear, it burns inward. So we should stop asking these people to dim themselves and let them be what they are. Not sick, but intuitive, curious mind that never stop. Probably because they are searching for deeper answers that most of other people are not even thinking about. Answers that cannot be given in a scientific way. And so they'll keep searching always. Now, let me tell you something, and I want to be clear, this is my personal view. I went through an experience that changed the way I look at reality, an awakening. They call it Kundalini awakening. I started out as an atheist, materialistic person, and I found out myself now open to possibility that many people call supernatural, and that are actually studied by serious people like Federico Faggin, for example, people that work in the physics of consciousness. Federico Faggin is the man who invented the microprocessor, and he proposed a vision in which consciousness isn't the byproduct of matter, but it's the opposite way. So matter is a byproduct of consciousness. Consciousness is something fundamental, is the base of reality. I'm not saying that science prove it. I'm just saying that I live through things that resonate with what serious people are proposing, people that study quantum physics. And from there I see this curious mind as the ADHD people, as people who are more connected, more sensitive to what's around them. And then let me add one more speculation. I'm saying it for what it is, just my idea. Given how much these diagnoses are increasing, especially now among the young kids, I wonder whatever we call ADHD might be a coping mechanism, a defense mechanism of our nervous system. The nervous system reacting to a way of living that human biology hasn't adapted, at least not yet. Blue light, the constant overstimulation, living far from nature, going days, months without ever putting our bare foot on the ground, without ever discharging anything. And so maybe the nervous system evolves to defend itself and pushes you, forces you to look for something different. Because maybe we are not broken, maybe our minds built for a different world than the one we are living in, and we need to build our world by ourselves.